we're going to design a bed setup together in this video. So if you're anything like us, you probably can't afford these really expensive $400 boxes that go in your bed setups. And we're right there with you. So what are you to do in the event that you need to put your beverages in the bed and you'd like to carry around some tools just in case things hit the fan, let's say, on the trails. So the way that we're going to accomplish this is by being resourceful, let's call it. Now, some people might call it cheap, but hey, you know, not everybody's got a whole bunch of money to spend on custom mounts, custom brackets to hold down specific coolers. Not everybody's got money for a big old Yeti that's going to go back here just to hold your beer. Everything all in, all of our tool storage is going to be about $105, and I take that back. It's probably closer to 120. And then our cooler setup is probably going to be about $60 to $70. So everything that you're going to see in the back of this RZR when we're done will have less than $200 in it. If you can stomach that, that is about entry level for getting some storage in the back of your RZR. Anything that is cheaper is probably not going to stay together. We experienced that on our last ride. We had some things strapped down. Things were kind of, we'll call it rigged a little bit. And we're riding down the trail. We got into a little section where the tail end went up and it was a little bit of a whip. I'm sorry, not a whip section, a whoop section. Back end comes up, a can hits the top of the lid, blows the lid off of the cooler, and we ended up with cans firing at us while we were going down the trail. So not a good situation. There are cheaper ways to do it, but this is what it gets you. Here's the inside of the cooler from the last ride. There's a lot of dirt inside there. That's what happens when a lid comes off your cooler and you're flying down a trail at like 35 miles an hour and things just go everywhere. So you don't want this inside your drinks, touching all your food that you're trying to keep cold. If you're trying to keep your beef jerky fresh or your sandwiches fresh or whatever, you don't want to be fighting that. And we were last time and it wasn't fun. What we went out and did, we found the Ozark cooler. Now, if you're looking into this stuff, you probably have already read about the Ozark cooler. What you didn't read about the Ozark cooler is that it goes on sale considerably sometimes. Specifically, happens in the winter. So we were able to get this $90 Ozark cooler for $46. It is perfect for the back of the RZR. It's got a couple of tie down points. And what we're going to show you is that we're going to run a strap through here, a strap through here, strap through here, and a strap through here. Now, the main complaints about the Ozark cooler that I've read, well, it really comes around the rubber. So these guys are really difficult when it's in the back of your machine to get cinched down and get them latched. That did not look very difficult. You put it up here and you're trying to do it, you're going to be using your body weight to get it on there and you might bust your knuckles up. So here's how it fits. We want to show you this. Pretty much made, seems like, for the back of the RZR. It's got an inch of play, so you should probably show that. The way that we're going to hold this thing down is by using the lock and ride system. So we went out, and we'll put a link in the description of the video, or you can find these in our pop-up store on our website. These are Grip Pro. They're lock and ride tie downs. There's an eye bolt that goes through here, and there's a retainer that takes this blue rubber piece and it squishes it down. And so the volume of that rubber doesn't change. So if the volume doesn't change, it's going to get fatter when you squish it. So you can already see it's considerably fatter than it was when the eye bolt was completely out. So this starts at about, I don't know, 95/100ths, something like that, of an inch. It goes into that 1-inch hole. You start cranking on it, and it gets a little bit fatter, and it retains itself. So we're gonna get it not to the point that it's all the way backed out. We're gonna get it close because we do want it to grip when we put it in there, but we don't want it to be difficult to install. I'm gonna put it in one of the lock and ride holes that's on the back of the machine here. So you can see it's still kind of wiggly, but it's tight enough that I can get it in there, but all I'm gonna do is just push it down in there, and I wanna make sure that it doesn't spin. So actually that's too loose. So I'm gonna pull it out, give it one more crank, get it in there. Still too loose. Couple more cranks, make it just a little bit fatter, put her in there. All right, so we're getting somewhere now. It's not spinning, so all we're gonna do is crank on this sucker. It's gonna make it fatter. It's gonna go against that outside surface and kind of squish things in there. And I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but what we should try to do is get up under there. This is what we've got right now. Check this out. We're going in from the top. And this one's nice because we can actually grab the bottom of it. We don't have to get it perfect when we do the install. I'm just going to crank down on it, and you're going to see it get fat in the video. So that's the lock and ride system. And that's the system that we're going to use to hold down the cooler. So that's probably overcranked. We'll back it off just a little bit. But we don't want our beverages going anywhere. So a lot of people, they'll sell brackets. And they'll sell these brackets and they'll use the lock and ride system. On the top, it'll have a bracket that'll connect from the lock and ride system, uses the same type of setup here, to your cooler. Those are too rich for us. So we're going to show you not really how to rig it, but how to get it pretty damn close. I got a 12-foot strap here, and that's way too long. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut these down. But it's not cut down yet, so I'm going to show you how this works with a 12-foot strap, and I'm going to struggle with it, and you're going to laugh at me. It's going to go down, hopefully, through our cooler here. Maybe. Try folding it over here. Told you were gonna laugh. That's a little tight getting it through here. So probably gonna struggle, but the good news is you only got to do this once per ride. Maybe even less than that. All right, gloves are coming off.
Getting serious now.
Things are getting serious, though. So I wish I could show you guys what I'm struggling with here. There's a little bit of what you call flash, and it's where there's two parts of a mold that come together, and it leaves just a little thin layer of plastic. And so the strap doesn't want to go past that flash. But we could get in there with a razor blade knife, like an X-Acto or something, and trim that up. We haven't done that yet. Hey, there we go. All right, now let me pull through like 60 yards of this stuff. So we will cut them down. You should cut them down because you don't want a streamer flying behind you when you're going flying down the trail. And you can't do a ratchet, so don't make the mistake that I did and try to buy a ratchet setup, because it doesn't work. Nobody has 1-inch wide ratchet straps that are what is that, less than 6 inches long. So we're gonna feed that through, we're gonna cinch it down, and we're gonna run 2 of these on each side. Okay, all right, so we're gonna do that 3 more times. We're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and our cooler is gonna be super secure. It's like pushing a rope.
Don't mind me.
Okay, are you beef rolling?
Beef rolling?
Beef rolling.
Yeah.
If you're having problems getting it through here, and remember we talked about flash and all that stuff. Hopefully that's in the video. Hopefully you didn't cut out my super nerdy engineering stuff. You got to get it through there, double it up, and it will try to go through a little easier. Effectively what you're doing is pushing a rope. So you want to make your rope a little bit more rigid. So it might go through there a little easier if you try that. It just worked for me. All right, so when you're running the strap that has to go around the cooler handle, you're gonna wanna go under on the back side and over on the top side. These straps were like 14 bucks for a 6-pack on Amazon, so that'll be part of our description. So that puts our cooler into a very locked down state. Now, what I was talking about earlier about busting your knuckles on the straps. Again, you got some compromises here, but these are kind of difficult. Not kind of difficult. They're very difficult to get on there. So figure out your preferred method. Maybe it's 2 thumbs. Not really sure, but you can see you've really got to stretch these to compress the seal that's on there. It looks like it's a fairly high quality seal. So there you go. That's your cooler installation. We've got $46 plus tax in the cooler. The straps were $14, I think, $13, $14 for a 6-pack. And then the Lock and Ride anchors were $28 for an 8-pack. The front strap, and front of the vehicle, is be the back strap if you're looking at the front of the cooler. It is run currently under the handle on this right side, on the passenger side here. So we're kind of making a loop around it. It means you can't get to the handle. It's not going to come up. Okay? So I think I like that better than what I did on this other side. On the other side, I actually ran it just straight on top of the handle. This to me looks like it probably puts the pressure in the wrong spot. It's putting the pressure right now on the handle instead of on the tie down. So I would recommend following what I said earlier and making sure you run the back side of that strap under the handle and the top side of that strap over the handle. So these are some fairly nice KitchenAid scissors that I bought for the garage, I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that. So nice kitchen shears. They cut through it like butter. You could use garden shears. You know, maybe steal your wife's scissors out of the kitchen. I don't know. Don't tell her that I told you to do it though. So now we've got 2 perfectly cut lengths. They may still be a little bit long. We'll see. Honestly, not too worried about it. Just gonna take them, tie them together, put a nice bow on it. There you go. So cooler setup, ready to go. We said we got about 65 bucks in it. It's got one hell of a seal on this thing. So it's not going anywhere. So we're going to pull this out. We're going to get ready for our toolbox setup. I'll show you guys how easy it is to get this thing out. Probably could have left that in there so that we didn't have to feed it back through. One thing I am doing as I take these out is I'm putting a little bit more tension on them, because the way these are made, there's a pretty nasty knurl on this that eats into the strap. So they will wear out eventually, but at 13 bucks, maybe you replace them once every season or something like that. So that's out. There you go. Lift out, ready to rock. We will wrap up there. We appreciate you watching if you made it this far. One thing that we will ask you to do is go ahead and like the video if you don't mind. If you found it helpful and you'd like to get more of this type of content, go ahead and subscribe, turn on your notifications so that when we drop a new video, you get a notification on your phone or in your email or however you have it set up. You doing that, you liking and sharing, is worth more to us than you can even imagine. It helps grow our channel, it helps grow our content, and keeps us doing cool stuff like this. So hopefully we helped you out. If we did, and you've got maybe a tweak on what we did, leave it in the comments. Those comments will flow to the top and they'll help everybody out. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.